Yes, here's one more. Shout out to the people that recognise, yeah? It's a casual thing, you get me, but respect. Here we go. I'm gonna spit fire till I see the ground smoulder, then extinguish it with one look back, cause on reflection the world always looks colder. Mentally it's plain to see that I'm centuries older. I stand on top of the earth, with Atlas set on my shoulders, that's paradoxical. Like beauty without the eyes of the beholder, that's paradoxical. Like a crack-addicted fetus born sober, that's paradoxical. Like Tyler the Creator, only I'm infinitely greater, that's paradoxical. Like quantum entanglement, I'll check that shit later. And if you don't get that, then be your own vindicator. The space between this world and the next, we are the mediators in the meditative sense. More esoteric knowledge than Rudolf Steiner within these poetic contents. I'll take one look in your eyes and convey the feats of my strength, and I'll drop bombs of knowledge at your door with no introductory pretense. Hold a press conference and call that my line of defense. Stand strong, cause I know what I'm standing against, and I know that shit's hitting humanity hard like extinction level events. In 100 years from now, they're not gonna call me a genius, as the population grows dense with famine, disease and poison pushed through our air vents. My rhymes work like my mind, they jump between the tense, past, present and the future calls itself my seventh sense. That's a weightless hedge, and they always said that time was heavy, but every second isn't first, and that's enough to leave us buried. They've made a monster of humanity by making a human of the monster, hosting TV shows like Conspiracy Theory with Jason Ventura, where they tell you, yeah, it's all real, and what are you gonna do about it? Up next it's Deal or No Deal, sit tight and be a good idiot. And if you think that the last line was somewhat predictable, then you can use that foresight to know that our solution is spiritual. Faith in the collective will diminish our fear, without which their power would rear and relinquish. I give spirits without the shot glass or red lips. Infinite intelligence is evident in mankind's history of creative endeavourment. So why is it that we believe that our lives are irrelevant? Negligence to the evidence makes for the prevalence of our self-hatred and malevolence, because comprehending the sight of a star which died over 800 million years ago mystifies the mind of the violent contendants, where we see nothing but the beautiful. So burn it all and use the ashes as our crafting crucible. Build again with faith in mind and make our truths irrefutable, cause that's the only way we'll move to adult from the juvenile and stop the genocide that's become our business as usual. And that's why I'm immovable, like an ant up against 100 Range Rovers. These next lines are for all the patriots and soldiers fighting wars over waters, whilst your wife's at home with your daughters. Stop killing innocent people and committing comic book slaughter. Army training is a joke, like Katie Price is an author, where they shave your head and split your identity in quarters, then build you back up as a proto-psychopathic killing machine, blindly following orders. And if you've got family in the forces, you probably want to hate me for saying that, but you don't want to hate the motherfuckers orchestrating that, and you can't sympathise with the poor people that they spraying at, and all for what? Well, let me lay it out as a matter of fact. A society with no enemy becomes self-aware and grows tact, so they keep us looking over our shoulders when it's the mirror we should be looking at. And yes, I am the best in this town, but I could give a flying fuck, like seducing the angel Gabriel and riding that pussy from here to Connecticut, so you can't say I'm alright or try and make out I'm whack, cause when I spit on a track I make the next train that comes crash, and that line's undeniable, old school creative genius. But enough for the gas, cause there ain't no time for that kind of self-indulgence when we've got our world to take back. 2012 was the end of the earth, all hope is now black. No saviours, no truth, no mass awakening, and no fulfilment of biblical promise. Just us alone in a vast universe on a planet with no solace, and shouting into the darkness. Yours only our echo of responses. Now can you imagine what that kind of subtext does to the subconscious? Mass depression and dissociation hidden underneath the globalised hip-hop cultures, with debauchery and consumerism as the food of those vultures. And some man might say that this kind of truth is depressive, but I'm not depressed. I'm empowered, free from the hands of the oppressive, and that's why next to me you'll forever be plain and unimpressive.
Yeah.